Welcome back to Dave Does Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to just do a little bit of work on my Hultafors Chopping Axe. I'm going to take off the wax that has been dipped in, which is great, keeps the edge nice and sharp. I realised it didn't come with a sheath, so again, that's why you're paying less money. Quite often they'll come with a leather sheath with a stud. They can be anything, they're normally about £20. So I think we've got some old leather upstairs, so I'm going to speak to April and see if she is able to knock something together, or I'll create something that's just to kind of protect the sharp, but also if it's going in my rucksack, you want to be having this shielded. So I've got some fine sandpaper. I'm going to just sand the shaft. It's a little bit rough. There's a couple of little kind of, it's not been treated. It's pretty rough. It needs to get oil on it. You need to oil it quite a little bit initially, once a day for a week, once a week for a month, and once a month for the first year, and then going forward you can just kind of leave it. You can leave it, maybe do it once a year, something like that. But I'm really impressed. Check out my other video when I unboxed it. So I'm just going to lightly just take off the sort of, just the top little, any roughness. You just want to kind of, to try and lighten it up. I mean, a lot of people like their axe shaft to be about this deep, this wide, pretty well all the way up. So you can take quite a bit off this piece, a little piece off this. I'm going to leave it as is and just going to get a wee bit of use out of it. I want to get it into the woods, and I was up in the woods today with Mia, and we had a little hot chocolate, which was really nice. Went for a McDonald's after that. We have a bit of McDonald's once a year, so it was actually really nice. And but there was a really nice spot in the woods that I discovered, that either a hammock or a tent, but there was also quite a lot of big trees that were down. So I'm sure I could get up there and just kind of log a couple of big fallen trees a little bit to burn. So, but you can see the stamp, the Hultafors stamp. Right, I'm just going to do a bit of sanding and I'll get that wax off. I've got some, I'm going to be treating it in some linseed oil. I've got the boiled stuff. I'll talk a little bit about the unboiled and the boiled stuff. This stuff dries a bit quicker. They put some additives in the boiled stuff to dry a bit quicker. I don't think it'll be too much different, as long as you're kind of treating the handle, as I said, just to preserve it. So, right, I'm going to crack on with that. Okay. Let's just see, this kind of wax, this will just, it just peels off. Oh, nice, nice. Just a wee bit. Little mark on it, but it's a pretty nice grind. It's sharp as well, by the way. I can feel that. That's sharp. Let's see. Easy. Easy. Yeah. So that's a very careful job. So I'm just going to pop some linseed oil on it. I've just got some dry. This stuff, it can be quite flammable. Again, YouTube, great source of information, but apparently when you if you leave this stuff kind of oh, it's a nice smell. That takes you back. It's like traditional furniture. It's a kind of waxy, oily smell. It's nice. So it dries really quick, especially the boiled oil. And I think it helps some of the wood to expand a little bit. So I'm going to put quite a bit down on this piece and let it kind of sort of soak in to underneath the head. So I didn't sand it much because you can sand it as often as you want. Obviously it takes the oil off, and so you don't want to, but it feels a lot smoother. I'm not going to be serious, axe person in the woods. Really, it's but you never know. At some point, I'm hoping to get a kind of wood stove in the house. So there probably will be a lot more processing of wood going on at some point. That's certainly part of the plan. Nice, it soaks in really quick. So I'm going to do that. Good grain orientation. You can see they've obviously spun them. I mean, you can take that. You can take that out. You can change the shape. Oil, this, it preserves it. If you're dropping it in the wet, the ground or anything at all, you want this to be well oiled. That'll take 3 or 4 hours to dry. Nice. Just put it around the edge on the front. That'll do. It'll soak in, hopefully expand a little bit. It'll make the head even more fixed. I'm going to let that soak in. That's the tiny little mark there, but I think with the first cut, it's like it's just got a tiny little bit of rust on it, but it's not actually got anything on the tip. Tiny little mark, but other than that, that'll come off with the first chop. So that's looking nice, a wee bit smoother, a little bit more finished. I'm going to let that soak in. Nice. Okay, so the axe has had one coat of linseed. It soaks in really quick, so I'm going to put another wee coat on. And yeah, I've got a couple of bits of kind of dry wood. Try and chop a little bit of kind of firewood for the stove. We're going to sit out and chill in the stove in the summer house where the stove is. So managed to get out on the bike this morning. So it was really nice just to kind of stretch the legs, and not far, I don't know, 25 miles, something like that, 30 miles at the very most. Took my time, it was quite windy, it was really nice. So yeah, I'm hoping everyone's getting out and getting some fresh air. We're heading through kind of lockdown, so we're getting there day at a time. Our wee one, Mia's off school, so we had a nice wee wander in the woods yesterday, followed by a McDonald's, so which was really, really pleasant. And yeah, Audrey's doing fine. The sun's trying to shine. We saw some snowdrops yesterday, so a real sense of spring in the air. Hopefully, you know, the vaccines are rolling out, and you know, hopefully things are going to start easing up this year. It's been a tough year for loads of people, loads and loads of people. So I'm going to do a wee bit of chopping, just a couple little bits of wood, and then I'm going to put another layer of linseed oil onto my handle. And I'm not sure if we're going to get out over the next kind of couple of days. I haven't really sort of planned much, so I'm going to sort out my camping stuff and my stove. The garage is in a real mess, so I'm going to spend a bit of time sorting out this afternoon, and getting things into a bit of an order. So yeah, I just need to kind of sort of locate. When you end up having 2 or 3 tents, a lot of the pegs end up getting moved about and so on. So I'm going to do a bit of sorting today. So anyway, listen, I'm going to take the camera out, and we'll do a wee bit of chopping. First use of the Hultafors Chopping Axe. I watched Swamp Valley, another guy to check out, his channel. He made a really nice leather sheath for his axe. Really good guy, he's really skilled. I think we've got some old leather, so but I'll wrap a rag around that meantime. So Rome wasn't built in a day, and off eBay, a decent leather sheaths or mask, call it what you like, they're about anything from 15 to 20 pounds. But right, I'm going to get a wee chop on. Nice. Just trying different wee grips. That's better. Nice. I'm not sure about this big thing. Sitting out the back for ages. It's kind of, not sure, this piece. That's more like it. Sweet. Right, I'm going to put some more oil on that before I get it all marked. Oh, this wood's really dry. Let's put it that way. That's it. That's better. I'll keep this hand clean, just do it one-handed. I've poured a little bit of the oil into the cup, the lid, and I've found a little art brush, and I'm just going to just gently let some of that kind of run down the seal. It's been well put on. There's barely any gap all the way around, but I mean, again, this, you know, if I was doing this all day, every day, I think I'd develop some skill. But, you know, good on them, because they are mass producing these, although they're handmade, handmade in Sweden. I'm just going to get that little brush, just around right around that edge. That's mushroomed out, which is good, and certainly I did a wee bit of, just a little bit of mucking about there, a little bit of mini chopping. It seems really pretty solid. Right, that's been right round, little art brush handy. That'll just soak down a little bit and help that wood to expand and keep sort of supple in case it gets wet. It's treated. I'm going to give that a good soak there. That's fine. Great. And as well as that, the inside bit, I swilled a little bit around, but that brush actually gets in there. So you just, you know, I guess you can go overboard, but if you're out for an overnight and it's raining and it's a tool, and we like to look after our tools. So if it got really wet and, you know, over months, years, you know, it'll start to deteriorate the quality of the wood. So we want to, I guess, because it's new, we'll just get it set up and that'll be it, hopefully. So I'm in a little cup of red bush. I've put a glove on. I'm not too sure. I haven't really kind of read about, I don't think it said any kind of sort of major, it just says if you get it on your skin, wash it off. There's a little bit about that self-ignition. Apparently it's pretty flammable, and it can, if it's sitting kind of by itself in rags, it can actually self-combust, which is pretty crazy. There's something called metallics, or, you know, they actually put some, it's to aid it to dry quicker, and rather than just raw linseed oil. So excuse the clutter in here. I've not been in. It's pretty. I'm I'm not out here much because it's cold, but the sun's shining today and the sun just sort of sits up here behind the cameras, which is nice. But there's no heating in this hut and there's no insulation, so it gets really cold. Apologies the street noise, we're kind of living in a housing estate, so there's kind of new houses dotted about kind of all over the place. So I've just put a glove on just to be... I think with COVID, I think everyone, or certainly I can speak for myself, is you know, you're sort of super heightened about health and cancer, and you know, not only are you trying to get your head around just kind of getting through this pandemic, but it really makes you so kind of conscious about other health issues, you know, mental health issues, physical health issues. So I did a wee bit of chopping. Yep, really nice. It's quite light. I've got my other axe is an old splitting axe. You can see the way that's been designed to split. It's £4.5. It's really heavy, and it's plastic. Sometimes with these kind of sort of synthetic handles, the shock can sometimes go through it. It was a wee cheap sort of B&Q thing. I mean, it does the trick. At some point, I'd love to be kind of living a bit more off grid and relying on a lot more wood to, you know, maybe run the heating, or if I could soak at the top, let that oil soak right in. So at some point, you know, there might be a need to be processing a lot more wood, which would be great, especially living in Scotland. You know, you can source wood bulk probably that's unprocessed reasonably cheaply, and then just build up your resource for the winter and the next year and so on. That's another good soaking going in there. It's quite windy. I need to I've got ski poles on the back of that door blowing about in the wind, so apologies if you're picking up any of that. I'm not sure if we're going to get skiing this year. The snow has been absolutely perfect up in all of the Scottish ski resorts. It's been the best snow they've had for about 10 years. So pretty gutted. Normally we'd have at least 2 or 3 days, you know, Glenshee, Aviemore. My cousin Alistair's got a wee chalet up near the Cairngorm resort, which is absolutely fantastic. So Al, if you're watching this, big shout out to yourself, and letting us use your chalet is always really appreciated. It's really nice. I might get you a bit of footage up there at some point. We're definitely going to go up again. It's a brilliant little space and a real saviour for getting away from it all. Right, we're almost done. It doesn't take long. It dries really quickly. Nice one. So we're going to give it 3 or 4 coats this week, a couple next week, and then I'll just ease up a little bit. I want to get some use out of it, but I want it to get good treated before it starts getting dirty. I'll just put a bit of oil on the head, stop it rusting if there's any moisture in that wood. That little mark's come off even just with one sort of little use, but it's a nice grind on that. That's straight out the shop. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to sit and enjoy my cup of tea and do a bit of tidying up this afternoon. So thanks again for joining me. I'm not sure if there's much more, so you need to be careful with these rags. I'm just going to burn them because if it's really hot, I think, or any weather, I'm not sure, but they can apparently self-combust. Don't ask me, but they can, so you have to be really careful. So going to keep putting some oil on that. First little use, which was great. Just a short little video. I think that might be the way of it until we're out of lockdown, just little short things, but sooner we can get out, you know, an overnight is in order, big style. So we'll see though. Hope everyone's taking care out there, and thanks again for tuning in. I wanted to make a shout out. Normally I've been trying to kind of shout out to some of my peers, kind of Dave Outdoors Scotland is another guy that I follow. He's right into his kayaking and his mountain biking, and so Dave Outdoors Scotland, big shout out to him. Good stuff. He's making some really good content, and we always have little bits of banter. So yeah, check him out. Give him a wee sub if you've not. And yeah, I'm really keen to be promoting the kind of underdogs in the YouTube world, because it takes ages and ages, and it's a lot of commitment to, you know, you'll do maybe half an hour, or a whole day filming, and you have to edit it all and try and make it sort of sensible, and I tend to kind of make mine probably too long, but it's actually good fun on the computer. I've had to learn quite a lot of new skills, so it's been really good for me to develop some new skills and stuff. So it does take a lot of effort, and once you get quite popular on YouTube, then you'll always attract a lot more followers. When you're starting off, it's actually really kind of quite slow, and but again, we're not doing it for, you know, you'll never make that much money unless you're the big guys, but it's more just about the fun. It gives me an excuse to be sharing stuff like this and doing little bits of film content and stuff, which is great. So, and yeah, it's really been really good for my mental health, just having a focus that's positive. So you're part of that, which is great and much appreciated. So listen, I'll stop rambling, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.